Why it is always wrong to believe without evidence. William K. Clifford and the Ethics of Belief. There is a philosopher who turned belief into a moral question. His name is William Kingdon Clifford. In the year 1877 he wrote an essay called The Ethics of Belief. In that essay he made one hard rule. He said it is wrong always everywhere and for anyone to believe anything upon insufficient evidence. This is not a soft suggestion. This is not a personal opinion. This is a universal rule. Clifford means it literally. He believes there are no exceptions. In this script we will go very deep into this idea. Who Clifford was, why he said this, how he tried to prove it, what examples he used, how belief shapes character, how belief shapes society, and why he thought careless belief is a moral sin. Section 1. WHO was William K. Clifford. William Kingdon Clifford lived in the 19th century. He was born in 1845 and died in 1879. He was an English mathematician and philosopher. He worked in a time when science was growing fast. New discoveries were changing how people saw the world. But many beliefs were still accepted because of habit and tradition and authority. Not because of careful evidence. Clifford cared deeply about truth. He cared about logic and proof. He cared about honesty in thinking. He believed that the mind has duties just like the body has duties. He believed that how we form our beliefs is a matter of right and wrong. Not only a matter of cleverness. Section 2. The central question. Clifford starts from a simple question. Is it ever right to believe something without sufficient evidence? Many people would say yes. They might say it is fine if the belief is comforting. They might say it is fine if the belief is traditional. They might say it is fine if the belief is private. They might say it is fine if the belief seems harmless. Clifford says no. He says it is wrong always everywhere and for anyone to believe anything upon insufficient evidence. He does not limit this to religion. He does not limit this to science. He applies it to all beliefs. Big beliefs and small beliefs. Public beliefs and private beliefs. He says the wrongness is in the way the belief is formed. Not only in what the belief is about. Section 3. Belief is a moral act. Why is Clifford so strict? Because he thinks belief is a moral act. He says belief is not just a picture in your mind. Belief is not just a feeling inside you. Belief is part of your character. Belief guides your actions. Actions affect other people, so belief has moral weight. Every belief you hold becomes part of your mental habits. Those habits shape what you notice. They shape what you ignore. They shape what you are ready to do. If you form beliefs carelessly, you train yourself to be careless. If you form beliefs dishonestly, you train yourself to be dishonest. For Clifford, this is a moral failure. He says we have a duty not only to act well. We have a duty to believe well. To believe well means to believe only when the evidence is sufficient. To believe well means to investigate honestly before you accept a claim. To believe well means to resist the temptation to accept what is easy and pleasant when the evidence is weak. Section 4. The shipowner story. To make his point clear, Clifford tells a story. This story is famous. It is about a shipowner. A man owns a ship. The ship is old. It has needed many repairs. People have questioned its safety. The owner has doubts about whether the ship is fit for a long voyage. If he is honest, he should have the ship inspected. He should repair it if needed. He should face the possibility that the ship is unsafe. This would cost money. This would cause delay. This would be inconvenient. Instead, he begins to comfort himself. He tells himself that the ship has made many voyages before. He tells himself that it has survived many storms. He tells himself that it will probably be safe again. He pushes away his doubts. He refuses to investigate. He convinces himself that the ship is safe. The ship sails. It sinks. The passengers die. Clifford says the shipowner is guilty. He is guilty of the deaths of the passengers. But Clifford adds something more. He says the shipowner would still be guilty even if the ship had reached its destination safely. The shipowner had no right to believe that the ship was safe. He had not earned that belief. He had not done his duty of inquiry. He had silenced his doubts instead of testing them. For Clifford, the key point is this. The wrongness lies in the origin of the belief, not in the outcome. A belief can be lucky and still be wrong. A belief can lead to a good result and still be formed in a bad way. If you believe without sufficient evidence, you are doing wrong even if events later turn out in your favor. Section 5. Belief is never purely private. Some people might say that their beliefs are private. They might say that if they are wrong they only harm themselves. Clifford rejects this. He says no belief is purely private. When you hold a belief, you add to the common stock of beliefs in your community. You speak, you act, you influence others, you teach your children, you talk to your friends, you support some causes and not others, you repeat some stories and not others. In this way your beliefs spread. They help to shape the mental atmosphere around you. If you allow yourself to believe without evidence, you help to create a culture where belief without evidence is normal. Clifford calls this the sin of credulity. Credulity means being too ready to believe. He says this sin does not stay inside one person. It spreads from person to person. It weakens the habits of careful thinking. It makes people easier to mislead. It damages the intellectual life of the whole society. Section 6. Further examples of careless belief. In his essay, Clifford does not stop with the shipowner. He gives other kinds of examples. He talks about people who accept accusations against others without proper evidence. They hear a story. They do not investigate. They pass it on. They support harsh treatment based on untested claims. In such cases, belief without evidence leads directly to injustice. He also talks about religious belief. He criticizes those who accept doctrines simply because they are taught by authority. He criticizes those who accept doctrines simply because they are old. He criticizes those who accept doctrines simply because they are comforting. He says that when people accept religious beliefs without honest inquiry, they are guilty of the same sin of credulity. He says that such beliefs can support persecution and cruelty when they are used to justify actions. In each example, the pattern is the same. A belief is accepted without sufficient evidence. That belief leads to action. That action causes harm. The root problem is the failure to respect the duty of inquiry. Section 7. The duty of inquiry. Clifford says that every person has a duty of inquiry. This duty is not optional. It is a moral obligation. The duty of inquiry means that before we accept a belief, we must do our best to investigate. We must look for evidence. We must examine reasons. We must check whether the sources are reliable. We must listen to objections. We must be willing to change our minds if the evidence changes. Clifford compares this to the work of a scientist. A responsible scientist does not accept a claim because it feels right. A responsible scientist tests the claim. A responsible scientist repeats experiments. A responsible scientist invites criticism. Clifford thinks ordinary people should treat their beliefs with the same seriousness. He knows that our time and abilities are limited. He does not say that we must know everything. He says we must be honest about what we do not know. If the evidence is weak, the honest answer is I do not know. If the evidence is unclear, the honest answer is I am not sure. Only when the evidence is strong enough do we have the right to say I believe this is true. Section 8. Belief, habit and character. Clifford is very concerned with habit. He believes that the way we form beliefs becomes a habit of mind. If we often accept beliefs without evidence, we build a habit of credulity. We become more ready to accept what is easy. We become more ready to accept what is pleasant. We become less careful about truth. This habit does not stay in one area. It spreads to other areas of life. A person who is careless in one kind of belief is likely to be careless in others. A person who accepts one claim without evidence becomes more ready to accept another claim without evidence. In this way, the character is slowly corrupted. On the other hand, if we train ourselves to ask for evidence, we build a habit of honesty. We become more careful. We become more responsible. We become more resistant to error. We become more respectful of truth. For Clifford, this is not only an intellectual matter. It is a moral matter. He thinks that a good character requires good habits of belief. He thinks that a bad habit of belief is a moral stain. Section 9. Belief in testimony. In his essay, Clifford also talks about testimony. Testimony means believing what others tell us. He does not say that we must never trust testimony. He says we must treat testimony with care. We must ask whether the witness is honest. We must ask whether the witness is competent. We must ask whether there are reasons to doubt the story. We must not accept stories simply because they are widely repeated. We must not accept stories simply because they are exciting or dramatic. If we accept testimony without examination, we again fall into the sin of credulity. We again risk injustice. We again weaken our own habits of careful thought. Section 10. Belief in authority. Clifford also considers the role of authority. Many beliefs are accepted because some authority says they are true. This authority may be a religious leader. It may be a teacher. It may be a book. It may be a tradition. Clifford does not say that authority is always wrong. He says that authority must itself be tested. We must ask how the authority knows what it claims to know. We must ask whether the authority is open to criticism. We must ask whether the authority has earned our trust. If we accept beliefs from authority without any inquiry, we again commit the sin of credulity. We again fail in our duty of inquiry. We again risk harm to ourselves and to others. Section 11. The Ethics of Belief. The title of Clifford's essay is The Ethics of Belief. Ethics means the study of right and wrong. By using this title, he is saying that belief itself belongs to ethics. He is saying that there is a right way and a wrong way to form beliefs. He is saying that we can be guilty not only for what we do but also for what we believe and how we come to believe it. His central rule is clear. It is wrong always, everywhere, and for anyone to believe anything upon insufficient evidence. This rule is strict. It does not allow exceptions. It does not say that some harmless beliefs are allowed without evidence. It does not say that private beliefs are outside moral judgment. It says that every belief must be supported by sufficient evidence, or else it is wrong to hold it. Section 12. Why this matters. Why does Clifford think this is so important? Because he believes that every belief is connected to action. Every action can affect others. Every careless belief can grow into real harm. A careless belief about the safety of a ship can lead to death. A careless belief about the guilt of a person can lead to injustice. A careless belief about a doctrine can lead to persecution. A careless belief about the world can lead to bad decisions that spread harm. Clifford wants us to see that the cost of credulity is high. He wants us to see that the habit of believing without evidence is dangerous. He wants us to see that the duty of inquiry is not a luxury. It is a moral necessity. Section 13. Clifford's final message. At the end of his essay, Clifford does not soften his claim. He repeats his central sentence. It is wrong always, everywhere, and for anyone to believe anything upon insufficient evidence. He knows that this is a hard rule. He knows that many people will resist it. But he believes that honesty demands it. He believes that respect for truth demands it. He believes that justice demands it. His message can be summed up like this. Belief is not a toy. Belief is not a private game. Belief is a serious responsibility. We must earn our beliefs. We must test our beliefs. We must be ready to say I do not know when the evidence is not enough. We must care more about truth than about comfort. William Kingdon Clifford wrote in the 19th century. But his challenge still stands. Whenever we are tempted to accept a belief because it feels right, or because it is familiar, or because it is easy, we can hear his question. Do you have sufficient evidence? Have you done your duty of inquiry? If not, then you do not yet have the right to believe. This is the ethics of belief. This is Clifford's philosophy. It is a call to live with evidence. A call to live with clarity. A call to live with intellectual courage.